So, if you're wondering where exactly I am right now, well, I am in an Airbnb that I am staying in Lisbon, Portugal, with my sister and her girlfriend. And in all honesty, we got here today. So, we traveled here by Flixbus, which, by the way, is great. It was so smooth, it was so quick. Like, I really enjoyed my experience. The bathroom did not have toilet paper, which I found out from my sister's girlfriend. But other than that, it was fine. Luckily, I didn't drink anything, so I didn't have to worry about peeing, but I did pee when I got there, and that bathroom experience also wasn't the best. But you know what? You live and you learn and you keep it moving because you can't focus on anything that you don't like in your life. One of my favorite sayings is what you focus on expands, and the more you focus on the things you don't like, the more the things that you don't like expand in your life. Okay, so it's very, very important that you solely focus on the things that you want to expand in your life. So if you want more money, focus on the things that you're grateful for. Focus on the money you currently have. If you want more experiences, focus on the current experiences you're able to have right now, the people that you have in your life that you're really grateful for. Focus on the things that you're ultimately just grateful for, because that energy will attract every single thing in your life that you want. So, in terms of this trip that I'm on, so this trip was actually only supposed to be until the 16th, but I randomly had a download. I think it was maybe like the first or second day that I was in Portugal. So I first started out in Porto, which is where I was at in my last video. I was at the train station, and I went there for a wedding, for my cousin's wedding, which was beautiful, by the way. It was just such an awesome time. And I was really only supposed to go for the wedding. But then I spoke to my sister and her girlfriend, and we were like, we should extend the trip. We should do some other fun things. So we decided to do Lisbon for 2 days, and then we're doing Barcelona after this for 2 days. Now, I was supposed to go home with them after Barcelona. But like I said, I got to download, you should go to Madrid. So what am I doing? After I go to Barcelona, I'm going to be going to Madrid for 3 nights, but then I'm going to come back to Barcelona to meet up with my cousin because it's her birthday that day. And I was like, you know what? I'm still going to be in Europe. I might as well go do this. Now, the reason why this requires so much faith for me and why I know that this is an experience that is really doing so much for me in ways that I literally can't even fathom right now is because it doesn't make sense that I'm on this trip. What do I mean by that? Well, in terms of having my flight booked to go back to the US, I don't have it yet. I am waiting on like a really nice check, and it hasn't deposited into my account yet. And it was supposed to last week, or that's what I thought, and it hasn't. So I'm really just vibing. Like, I just know it's going to happen. I know it's going to work out. And I'm just remembering to not focus on that. Focus on the fact that it already worked out. Focus on the fact that I had a great time. Focus on how I'm feeling in every moment that I'm grateful for, okay? Because when you exercise your faith, when you step out on faith, the universe will always catch you if you feel safe in your body and if you know that you're doing the right thing. If your intuition is leading you to go somewhere, do something, be someone, you need to follow it because you're supposed to do that. And when it came to my time here in Europe, I was just feeling like I really needed to travel. Earlier in the year, I was in Colombia. That was like a whole crazy story because I was not supposed to go to so many cities in Colombia, but I ended up because of my air travel being messed up with the airline. But honestly, I kind of thought it was fun. It was a cool story, and you really have to roll with the punches, okay? The more that you can handle and withstand pressure in your life, the more that you are turning into a diamond. Like, if you couldn't handle a lot of pressure, you wouldn't be able to be that diamond, right? Because you would crack under the pressure. And I think whenever I am inspired or intuitively led to do these major faith walks, it's because I'm about to up level in a way that I can't even understand yet. And on top of that, right, You guys know that if you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Sydney. I talk about my life and just whatever else comes to mind. Honestly, these are all just streams of consciousness. I don't even know why I'm making these videos. It just feels like I have to. It's a compulsion at this point. So maybe like a week and a half ago, I quit my corporate job after only being there for about a month. And I just understood that that was not the place for me. And I remember I got a comment from someone on TikTok because I had talked about the fact that I'd quit my job, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? You have to be really careful. Like, the job market is hard right now, yada, yada, yada. And I remember seeing that comment, and I was like, it's so interesting that people don't realize how much they project their own subconscious beliefs onto others and try to warn them, not knowing that they're really talking to themselves. You know what I mean? And I can see how I have been that person. I'm not going to say to you that if you don't like your job, you should go out and quit it, because maybe that's not the right thing for you to do. Like, I don't know what you should do. No one knows what you should do better than you. But if you are not listening to what you need to do intuitively, it's going to be very hard for you to live a life that is divinely created by you, because you are allowing your fears to run the program of your life. And for so long in my life, that was the case, okay? A few years ago, when I was spending some time in San Francisco, this was in 2018, okay? So I had always really wanted to go to California. And I just felt this pull, like I have to go there right now. I had no money. I had no place to stay. I had no job. I had no idea why I was even going out there. And yet I was able to sustain myself out there for 8 weeks the first time, or I think it might have been 9 weeks. It might have been 8 weeks, like 7-8 weeks the first time. And then later on in the year, I went back and I was able to stay there for 11 weeks with everything coming together while I was there, because I made the decision to step out on faith and just follow what my intuition was telling me to do. And I was rewarded for it, okay? I was rewarded up until a point where I stopped having that faith, where I stopped having that trust, where I started to allow my subconscious fears to envelop me and get me to a place where I realized I actually needed to go back home. I actually needed to go back to the drawing board, because there were a lot of things in my mind that I hadn't fully come to terms with that were now causing me a lot of issues in my life, all right? And I think for a while, I stopped living my life that way because of the quote unquote negative things that happen. But it was more so because I was focusing on those things. I was focused so heavily on the fact that it didn't work out. I was focused so heavily on the fact that my family members were like, you're crazy. What are you doing? You need to come back home. This is ridiculous. But had I had a different level of understanding when it came to faith, acting on faith, stepping on faith, I think that I would have definitely made it work. I mean, hindsight's always 2020, right? I just think now where I'm at, I'm recognizing how I was feeling similarly when I was in San Francisco, and I didn't have the nervous system regulation that was keeping me grounded at that point in time. So before I succumbed to it, I didn't see that there was likely a tunnel at the end that there was likely light at the end of the tunnel. I was only focused on the fact that I was in this tunnel. It was so dark. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where I'm going to go. And that's the thing, right? If you focus on that, that is what expands in your life. So I started to see that my life got worse. Why? Because I was focusing on all of the terrible that I didn't enjoy experiencing, when initially I was focused mostly on the things that I did enjoy experiencing. And I also think there is something to say that sometimes you're not supposed to stay in an environment for too long. When it feels like it's time to leave, you need to leave. And sometimes your ego is going to try and make you believe, oh my gosh, I need to do this longer. I need to stick it out, yada, yada, yada. And I think in a sense, that was a major test that I think I passed recently when I quit my corporate job because my ego was saying, Sydney, what are you doing? Like, you should stay here at least the next, 2 months, 3 months, a year. Just do it. Just stick it out. It's fine. You can make good money here. You have a 9-to-5 job. It's exactly what so many people in the world do. Like, why can't you do this too? But my intuition was saying, get out now. Do something else. Do something creative. Do something that aligns with your soul. And I did it. And I didn't tell anybody that I did it until the deed was done, because it's not their life. Okay? Your life is yours. If you feel like you want to do something in your life, you need to do it, because you're the only one who is living your life. Literally. No one else is living your life. And if you are taking too much of, if you are allowing the opinions of others to dictate how you move in your life is going to be miserable, because your life is not your own. And that's the truth. And again, with this is a faith walk. It's very interesting, but I don't feel scared. I don't feel like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because I know I'm going to be fine, because I've been fine in the past. And this is a time when you really have to plug into the things that make you feel grounded. You have to plug into the things that you're grateful for. And you have to also remind yourself of times when you were in a similar situation and it worked out. Because the thing is, when you look back on your life, you'll start to see that things have always worked out for you in some shape or another, okay? Sometimes it's like, oh, you get fired from that job, but you hated that job. You didn't want that job. And you getting fired from that job led you to something else that was more aligned to who you really are and the things that you really like. But it all depends on how you choose to perceive something and whether or not you are willing and ready to step out on faith and not allow your fears to hold you back. Because most people, I think, they are run by their fears. And when you're run by your fears, you can be controlled. And when I think about, just trusting the universe and knowing that everything is always paid for, everything always works out for you, everyone and everybody and everything is always working out for you, even if you don't know how, then you can now appreciate whatever moments that you're experiencing that feel like pressure. What feelings are coming up when you're like, oh, and how do you handle it? Do you go into fight or flight mode? Do you take a moment? Do you pause? Do you reflect on what you're grateful for? Do you do some deep breaths? Do you go on a walk? Do you drink some water? Do you write in a journal? Do you make a video? Do you make a song? Do you draw? Like, what is it for you that you use as a means to get yourself to feel good and to recognize that you are in Earth School? Like, you're literally in Earth School. We're in Earth School. And part of Earth School is to really learn about our power, or relearn the power that we have that we've been told is not ours because it's the people in charge or the system or whatever, right? Like, we're told so much of this throughout our lives. And when you start to live an intuitively based life, you start to realize how magical life truly is and how much power you have. And I think that's one of the major reasons why my soul has led me on this journey right now. And I'm really excited to share it with you, or continue to share it with you, because I think I'm supposed to be making these videos while I'm here. That's why I brought my mic. That's why I brought my stand. And that's why I got a new phone, because I knew I was going to be doing this. I didn't know exactly when I would be making videos or what would the context be or anything like that. But just like how I make my videos in my car when I'm at home, I like to allow things to flow. And I like to trust that if I turn on the camera, there's something that needs to be shared for someone, even if it's just for me, right? And you have to trust that if your intuition is leading you to do something, even if it makes zero sense, you have to choose faith, because the faith-ruled life is going to lead you exactly where you need to be, even if you don't know where that place is yet. So if you're living a life based on fear, it's not your own. It's the systems, it's societies, it's this, it's that. They are living your life. That is living your life. But what if you decided to live your own life and to allow faith to guide you? as opposed to fear. The unknown is scary, but I think something that's even scarier than the unknown is to live a life that you had no real conscious awareness of creating because you were too afraid of your own power and too afraid of not knowing what could happen and what could unfold. So if you like this message, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all